morning world from the school drop-off. Story is already in. She's going to be doing a full day at school today. Normally we pick her up half day. And I wanted to do a little bit of talking about this car again. So we've had a lot of questions and statements and comments on YouTube saying congratulations for buying a car. We didn't actually buy this car. We said that we got this car. We got our hands on this car for a few days. We've rented it. We are road testing this car. We are giving it a run for its money here on the island because we are trying to replace our old car for something that's a bit more suitable for road tripping around the Philippines. And yeah, we found it available on the island, and that's why we rented it for a few days.
We actually only have the car for one more day, which is a little bit sad because it has been really nice having it and just having a car around that we know that when we get in it, it's gonna go and it's gonna drive and it's all gonna work. Seats are really comfortable, and Story said that it's been really nice in the back there, but the only thing is the boot space. If we were going to go for a longer journey and we had our dog and all the stuff that goes with Story, and we have a bag each and stuff, it would be very cramped in here. So it's fine for an island car or a small trip, a weekend away kind of length of trip, but for a longer journey, if you were going to go for a big drive across the Philippines or something like that, you need to bring a lot of stuff with you, then it would be a bit too small. The boot space is a little cozy.
In terms of like driving position and how it feels to drive, it's wonderful actually. It is brilliant, and I've not had any complaints. It has enough power for what we've been doing here on this island. Even when we park on sand and we go on the bumpy roads of General Luna, it hasn't been an issue. And Story was lying across the back seat the other day when she was resting, and she went all the way from there to there so she could like use it as a bed when she's having a rest.
But she said, I'm the same size as the chair.
Yeah, it feels safe and everything. The one thing that I would say though is Sacha and I are experienced road trippers. We have done many journeys that are over 20 to 25 hours driving, and that's not a joke.
Long journeys,
Imagine driving for 25 hours in a car straight.
A bit of an endurance.
Yeah, like highways and back streets, mountains. We've done a lot of driving in our time, and a car like this would struggle because it would be very noisy on the highway. You can hear it when you go a bit faster. If a stone hits the underneath, it's like bonk, you know. It's like you can feel that this was designed to not do that, to not drive across, you know, continents or whatever. So the car that we buy to replace what we currently have will be bigger and have a bigger engine and just be more suitable for touring. And but if I was just staying on this island for that was it, this would be a perfect car.
Yeah, it's been really nice.
So we've been driving this car now for 4 days, and I haven't filled up the petrol. And look at this, we've been up and down the island more than once, and we still have that much fuel. It hasn't even got to the half tank mark yet. That is fantastic. I think by the time we've given this car back, we would have done over 300 kilometers, and we haven't even got to the half tank mark yet.
Yeah, it's quite nice to see, isn't it, that you're driving and it's not going down. You feel like it's economical, you're not spending a loads on fuel and stuff, because our car, you know, one journey return from General Luna, and we need to fill up again every time we come into town. The little scooter that we rented recently as well, that was so juicy. I know, wasn't it? One day and we had to fill up the tank. So it was unbelievably uneconomical to ride that scooter. I couldn't believe it. So this is actually more economical than a two-wheel scooter, which to me is out of this world. The technology of a new car is definitely been improved, you know, for the last few years. I mean, the car that we currently drive is 31 years old, and I actually thought that car was economical until I got in this. So there you go. One of the fellow parents at the school has got this car, which is a Ford EcoSport, and that is one of the vehicles that we are considering perhaps buying. But, I haven't had a chance to road test that or anything. Yeah, we've got it down to two. It's either an EcoSport or a Honda CR-V.
Yeah,
they're the two that kind of keep coming up in our searches, and on like further research into them.
Yeah, and what we can actually afford.
Yeah, they are the top 2 runners at the moment. So.
I mean, we mentioned that this is the cheapest brand new car you can buy in the Philippines, but at 560,000 pesos, we can't actually afford to buy that outright.
Yeah.
So we are looking for a used car for that reason, and we will be obviously, you know, updating you guys with what we get.
Okay, strap on.
Yeah. This car beeps at you a lot if you haven't got your belt on, so it reminds you.
Yeah. Take me to the coffee shop, please. So if you are planning a trip to Siargao Island and you are thinking of maybe renting a car, we rented this from a company called Coastal Reef Adventure, and we booked it through their Instagram page. So we'll link their Instagram page down below so you can go and check it out. Yeah. They have a few different cars, not just this one. The bonus of renting this Suzuki S-Presso is that it came with the mountain bike, which we still have attached to the car at the back there. Yeah. Not very practical to kind of drive around with day to day if this was your daily runner, but as a kind of holiday rental, we did actually use it when we went to Tak Tak Falls. If you saw that video, Jade took it out for a little spin.
Yeah, it was good. And we were saying, like, to rent a bicycle like that per day on this island would cost you between 600 and 800 pesos per day. It's more than the scooter. Yeah. And then a car rental would normally be between 2,500 and up in the Philippines. So this car and that bike together is 2,500 pesos a day.
Yes.
So it's really good value for
money. Quite a good deal. Yeah, it is. Although as car rentals generally in the Philippines, they are quite expensive.
Yeah, it's true. We're used to paying about 11 or 12 euros per day, which is, I would say, about 1,500 pesos.
Yeah.
So, you know, renting a car in the West is actually cheaper than renting a car out here. Yeah. But I think the average price for getting a vehicle self-drive is about $53 per day, which is about 2,600, 2,700.
Yeah.
So renting this car and this bike is actually below the national average, which is unusual for Siargao. Siargao is normally more expensive, isn't it?
As a comparison, we have spoken quite a bit now about the price of this car and the price of rentals in the Philippines in general. When we lived in Thailand, we rented a car a few times, and when we had visitors and stuff, we had rentals, and they're about half price. So we were renting cars in Thailand for half of what they are here in the Philippines. And also the same as England, you can pick up a rental car for like £10 a day sometimes.
This is normally without the extra insurances and all the bells and whistles, but you can get it for that kind of money. But you know,
so it is very expensive compared to what we are used to paying. And Portugal as well, we had for car rentals, again half the price of what they are here. For some reason, renting a car in the Philippines isn't so easy on the budget, on the wallet, if you are planning as well to take it for a longer time. We obviously have only just had it for a few days, but if you wanted it for a month, say, then it would be a big chunk of money to do that. So as a reference, we actually looked up renting a car in Manila from the airport if you were coming here on holiday and that's what you wanted to do, and for a week's rental it worked out to about 25,000 pesos for a car, which is what we pay for our monthly rent on our house. So there's a comparison.
Exactly.
We're just driving into Siargao Beach Resort to go and get our morning coffee.
Yeah, a bit of off-roading.
Yeah.
There's some really big puddles here, aren't there?
It rained a lot last night,
Whoa, big one.
The bumps, how's it handling the bumps?
It's alright, you can feel it though.
Reversing beep.
Yeah, it's because the bike rack is in front of the parking sensors.
So another little bit of information about the car is that to rent it we had to pay a 10,000 peso deposit, which is refundable.
You forgot to talk. You really need coffee.
I haven't woken up yet. What else?
You had to give your a government ID.
So Jay left his passport there.
And also you have to show that you've got a driving license. I just showed my British driving license this time. I've got a Filipino license as well, but my British one just looks a little bit more legit because the Filipino one is just like a little printout.
We haven't. When we had them made, they didn't have the card printing machine set up. So they said just like come back at another time to get it printed when the machine was working, and we just haven't got back to get it printed yet. It's on our list to do.
Valid ID, but it just looks a little bit ropey. But yeah, those are the requirements for renting a car. You obviously need to have some form of driving license.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously you wouldn't want people driving around without knowing how to drive a car, especially if it's a manual and you've never done it before. It's very different to renting a motorbike in the Philippines, isn't it?
Yeah, they just kind of
anything.
hop on and go, you know.
Just take it, get out of here.
All right, let's go get that coffee.
So this is the company logo. Somebody actually asked us on Instagram the other day, what does CRA stand for? And I was like, I guess they thought, because they thought it was our car, but like, why would they put CRA on it? On this particular car, it means Coastal Reef Athletes, because they're kind of rebranding for the idea that they rent it out with a bicycle. But normally, if you see the CRA, it is Coastal Reef Adventure. So if you're looking for it on Instagram, don't search for athletes, search for adventure, and see what cars there. Yeah, we'll put a link in the description for everybody. Right, bye espresso. Let's go get an espresso. I feel like I haven't been here for a long time. Looking forward to the coffee. This is one of our favourite places on the whole island. It is looking... Good morning. It's a low tide out there today, and this is why we order coffee from this place. And look at this dog. She knows how to live the good life, doesn't she?